Hello and welcome to the Everything F1 podcast. As you can see, it is just me. If you're on YouTube, on our socials, Everything F1, you'll see that I'm the only one on the screen. Unfortunately, James can't be with us. He's not feeling too great tonight, so it's just me. As you know, my name's Coops. I've been part of Everything F1 for a while. Before we get into it, let's do a bit of housekeeping. So come on, we're on all the socials at Join EF1. As usual, can never remember which one it is on TikTok. It's either official EF1 or EF1 official, one of the two. Just try both, you'll find us. It's the same logo for all our socials. We're on Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Twitter. I've said Twitter and X. Twitter's probably better. Basically all the socials you can think of. At Johnny F1 for most of them. Our YouTube channel is Everything F1. Everything else is Johnny F1, as I've just said. Remember, we are still running our competition. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, we will give away a Speed Champions Lego set from one of the teams of your choice. All 10 are represented in that set. So we'll do that when we get to 500 subscribers, and we'll do that again at 1,000. No questions, no tricks. Just subscribe. We will do a wee quick lucky dip, and we'll find one lucky winner. So let's move on to the what we're here to discuss. Just a couple of things that we've got the Baku Grand Prix coming up this weekend. I quite like that circuit. We'll get into the wee details here and there. I fired up a question onto our socials a couple of days ago. Just asked our Everything F1 fans what they would do if they had one thing they could change in Formula One. Response has been amazing. We've had 1,500 replies on our Facebook, several others on our other socials. So I'll try and hit a couple of them. I think what we'll do with the amount and the response, we'll probably save that maybe for an end of season conversation, just to kind of wrap up the season. So don't worry if you don't get your name mentioned in this one. We'll come back and we'll get the team involved in that conversation as well. So anyway, let's hit the Baku Grand Prix. So this weekend we've got Baku, which is not a European country; it's more Asian than European. It's it's got the longest straight on the F1 calendar. Personally, as I said earlier, there, I love the circuit. It's a really good challenge. It usually gives us some sort of races. I don't think we've had many where there hasn't been some sort of talking point. whether it be Max Verstappen's tyre letting go, Lewis Hamilton pressing the wrong button, Sebastian Vettel driving into Lewis Hamilton a few seasons back, or even the flatbed truck deciding to hit the overhead gantry and spraying oil over stranded Williams, which, much to the chagrin of the Williams mechanics who were having to repair and then clean up said car. So we'll go into the stats for the Grand Prix, the circuit. We'll do the timetable first. So free practice 1 and 2, standard setup, no sprint this weekend. Practice 1 UK time, 9:30 to 10:30. Practice 2 is 1 o'clock till 2 o'clock. Practice 3 is on the Saturday as usual, 9:30 to 10:30 again, with qualifying 1 till 2. On the Sunday we have the race. Starts at 12 UK time, finishing at 2 o'clock. If you're not listening or watching this from the UK, please check your local listings to avoid miss out on any action. Let's have a look at the vital statistics of the track. So the circuit, probably one of the longer circuits in the calendar, 6.003 kilometres. First raced in 2016. Been around for a while now, coming up to 10 years. 51 laps. Fastest lap, I would ask the team, but they're not here. It's 1:43.009. Charles Leclerc in 2019. Race distance 306.049 kilometres. So I'm going to hit this my predictions quickly. We'll do that, and then we'll have a look. We'll dive into some of the other stats and some of the other conversation and news that's dropped from Formula One. So as you know, just me. So can't go into the team as I've just said. So I'm going to go with a Piastri pole, I think, for myself. Going to go back to the McLarens. And then I think for myself, Lando Norris will take the win, just to keep things spicy. And then it will be Piastri. Nope, it won't be Piastri. I'm going to go with Leclerc second. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Ferrari jumper that I'm wearing just now. Still had it for a while now. Still one of the nicest pieces of F1 merch this season. And then I'm going to go with, let me see, Russell in third. And if you've probably guessed it, I'm going to say that one of the McLarens will crash out, and I'm going to hit Piastri. It's either going to be a crash or a failure of some kind to cross the line. Norris is going to take the win, and he is going to get that win, get that kind of balance back after his issues at Zandvoort with his Mercedes engine deciding to give up. It's an oil leak. Or an issue with the chassis that caused an oil leak, which these kind of cars don't run unless they've got oil in them. So, unfortunate situation for him. So, we're going to hit the comments quickly. Let's have a look and see what a few of them said. As I said a couple of days ago, it was yesterday, I went on to the socials, fired in a wee comment, which was, if you could change one thing in Formula One, what would that be and why? So, Marcus Barley, he's saying remove Monaco from the calendar. So badly enough, he's not the only one that's mentioned Monaco. Someone actually has posted, I'll see if I can find it, get the name in there, but someone has actually said that they would replace Monaco with Paul Ricard. And I think that's just polishing a turd. Still a turd. It's not a good idea. Not a fan of the Paul Ricard circuit. Never have been. And if you're a Leclerc fan, he's certainly a fan of the Ricard circuit. Someone else here, Paul Munger, he said there that you should know working on the cars or changing tyres when there's a red flag. It's an interesting one, that one. I think the argument will be about safety if they're having to go through carbon fibre, tyres need to be changed. But it's certainly not a surprise that that's been mentioned. I think a few people have mentioned something along those lines. Michael Dalton, thanks Michael, he said the last lap of 2021. Wonder which driver he follows. I think there's a few people that would take that away. Put them in go-karts for Monaco. Again, the Monaco theme's in there, so let's have a wee scroll down further. Let's look. The exorbitant ticket prices, that's Linda Smith. Now that's an interesting one as well, actually. I can't disagree. the prices are getting higher and higher, and you're pricing out a lot of people when it comes to Formula One. So I don't know what it is you can do about that. That's up to the Formula One and the promoters. They've got a lot of things to pay for. Everything's expensive these days. I'm sure there could be something they could do to try and just make it a bit more accessible financially for a lot of people around the world. Harvey Riemann, no free pit stop during the safety car. Whenever you come out of the pit lane, is your new track position. So I think I'm not sure if Harvey means that the pit stop then gets shut down. You close that pit stop, so you've not got that. Instead of it being 30 seconds because it's at full speed, you go down to 15. Everyone's slower and you can get in and out a lot quicker. And that would certainly be interesting. Rob Butler, being a bit greedy there, Rob. When I asked you to do one thing, you've listed 7. But we'll breeze over that, Rob. We'll breeze over that. Remove Monaco, compulsory pit stop window. Use all compounds of tyres. Now that has been done. I think in qualifying, I think it was hard at the first Q1, Q2 was medium, and then we went into Q3 with the softs, but everybody was there. Not quite sure why that hasn't carried over. Something we need to look into. Maybe bring that up again at the end of the season. Excuse me. Fuel stop with the limit on amount. And reintroduce the V10s. No communication with the drivers. Make cars smaller. So, I mean, no communication with the drivers. Again, when I was looking through this just prior to start, it was a very that was another common theme actually. Using pit boards, going back the way someone actually mentioned. I'll see if I can find it as well. No communication with the drivers, so they can't tattletale, as I said. That's an old saying. With other drivers when they make mistakes. Someone is finding the inner Bernie Eccleston, spray the track with water for the last 20 laps to sort out the men from the boys. If we're talking about gimmicks within Formula One, that's going to be a big one. I mean, it's interesting if you do try that one. Sheila Edwards there, what was the spray the track with the water for the last 20 laps. Sorry, that was Tony James that mentioned that one. Sheila Edwards has said just a minor one, but Martin Brundle's pit lane walks are cringe making. Okay. That's more Sky rather than Formula One, but everyone has their thing. Drop the sprint races again. That's a regular theme. We've seen a few people in that one. I'll have a flip through and see if I can find any other ones. The sprint race, drop the sprint races. That was Mike Crew that put that through a few hours ago for me. So let's see what else. We'll offer early retirement to the screaming commentators and leave us with the leaderboard and the atmosphere sound. A bit like golf. Not the best TV in the world, to be fair. I mean, have you ever tried to watch things without commentary? Sometimes it's a bit weird, even if the commentary is a bit annoying at times. So Piers Moore, I'd make the cars much smaller, lighter, and less complicated with half the downforce. But, anyone in the UK who can get access to the F1 TV app, we don't get the live stuff because of the situation with Sky Sports. But certainly any of the newer fans to Formula One, it's about £3-4 a month. As far as I know, I haven't checked it a wee while, might be a bit more. But you get archives as far back as you can go in terms of the Formula One races. Go back and have a look at them. Even I've been following Formula One since the early 90s. Yes, I'm that old. And it does amaze me when I go back and watch some of the older races. And, even seeing the cars now without the halo, you get quite surprised. Like, oh, the drivers were quite exposed. And it was quite a hard thing to adjust to with the halo when it first came in. And now it just seems weird not having them. It's amazing how quickly they can adjust and just accept that that's what's there. Only the last car in the DRS train gets DRS. That was Ashley Ryan. Now that's an interesting one. With DRS trains, they can really cause some issues. I did see a comment somewhere on the social media where that every other, so 1 lap it would be the even place cars in the DRS train would get the DRS, and in the next lap the odd numbers. So you're flipping and flopping. Uh, Again, I don't know if that would make much of a difference in terms of DRS, because even the last car getting it, it's only the last car that's going to pass. They're going to move up, then the car behind them is going to get the next lap. So it's just going to be between those two. I don't know how you really break up the DRS altogether. You only get a limited number of seconds and minutes of DRS in each race. Sounds a bit like that's from Ben Anderson. Sounds a wee bit like what they get in IndyCar now, which is a kind of boost button, and they get a limited amount of seconds for the boost. That's something they've been doing for quite a wee while now, I think, in one form or another. Have a wee flick further down. Again, thanks very much for the comments. 1,500 of them. Obviously did get people's imagination going, and thanks for taking the time to jump onto our socials and have a conversation about technology. Nick Wall, take off all the gizmo tech in the cars and hold old school days racing from James Hunt and Nicky Lauda era. Now, here's my take on this. Maybe not quite to the extreme as that, but I think what we should do is we should turn Monaco into kind of retro weekend. Each team goes back into their history books and finds a team that they used to be, Aston Martin or Jordan, so maybe they go yellow, and bring back the yellow livery for that weekend. Williams brings back the kind of blue, the camel, the white, red and blue, the red and white Marlboro type sponsor from McLaren, and have that, like, embrace it. I mean, this is the time. Monaco's it's the kind of track where fans can be quite close. There's elements of the track, it's really slow, you can really get some good work in. So you can do a lot of things, I think, at Monaco in that respect. Again, the biggest problem about that would probably be sponsorships. Other organisations spend a lot of money to get their branding on cars, and they get corporate branding. So there would be a lot of things to happen. Probably wouldn't work, but in an ideal world, why not? It would be quite nice just to see that kind of thing. So it's Remco Kurek. If I have butchered anyone's name, so far I'm being quite lucky. I do apologise. But he said rewrite the rule book and make Alonso F1 president. I don't even know if that position exists. CEO could make him president of whatever you want, I suppose. Again, there's Lisa Hill making a comment about the pricing. Cars back to the size they were in the 70s, more overtaken. Maybe. The issue with the size of the cars is more to do with the electrified part of the power unit, because they need to store batteries and also the aerodynamics to change the floors. But the main contributing factor to the fact that these cars have to be the size they are, which is about 6 foot wide to 8 foot long, I think, even longer than that, to be honest, is that they've got to store all the gubbins with the batteries and recovery systems and things like that. So it's not just your combustion engine, they've got everything else to go into it. And I think that's just sign of the times. Manufacturers don't want to be in a racing series these days unless there's some sort of electrification. That seems to be the way that manufacturers are going when it comes to normal cars. So that's kind of where it's going to go in Formula One. Maybe somewhere down the line, I think Ben Sulayem, the FIA president, had made some kind of statement recently about going back to these V8s or V10s, I think it was a V8, but using synthetic fuel. Maybe that could be a conversation further down the line, but I think the manufacturers weren't too keen on that just now. It would be the simplest way to go in terms of reducing the car size. That's the only way you're going to reduce the car size properly, is by reducing the power unit, and that has to come from manufacturers. If manufacturers don't want it, Formula One can't do it, because manufacturers are how Formula One runs these days. So it's a manufacturer sport. It's gone in the days where you get independence, even under the cost cap era. It's just not a thing that can happen. So we're going down to Stephen Priestley here has said short qualifying, one car at a time on track, limit to 3 laps, one out lap, one flying lap, and one in lap. Had something like that not that long ago. Drivers weren't too fond of it, I don't think. Maybe not quite as simple as that, but a similar thing. Sven van de Putte, I have butchered that, I do apologise, has said that Formula One should use a two-time attack mode in Formula E. again, interesting. How they would manage that and how that would work is another one. But okay, we did ask you to put something in place. Uh, we'll get a wee comical one there from Jack Vincent. Make all the drivers do their own pit stops. Jack, tyres, everything. Could be cool. Could even bring back refueling. It'd be a laugh at any rate. Yeah. I mean, how you would have to get some kind of device to lift the car up and keep it up and then run round and put the back up. I mean, you know, drivers are fit, but I mean that's going to be something else. Then the hybrid system, bring back the screaming V10s and run on synthetic fuels. Just touched on that. That's quite an interesting one. Uh, John Allen has said that the price next year Silverstone has gone up ridiculously. Camping for three people, 650 upwards. And Beckett's 3 days, 700 plus food and drink. They will lose a lot of fans. Yeah, it's been touched on before, and I don't actually think Silverstone has managed to sell out in the recent years. Another simple one there, don't count the laps under the safety car. That's from Richard Simmons. That's a good one. I think that's quite a simple one just to keep things going. Sometimes you see that in races, you see cars coming up, Max Verstappen chasing down, say, Lando Norris or Piastri and doing a great job and catching up. And then you hear the comment, oh, he's just ran out of laps. And maybe 5 or 6 of those laps were under the safety car. So yeah, that could be quite good just to keep things fair and giving everyone that opportunity. So yeah, I do like that one actually, to be fair. I'm not sure. We've got a ton more comments, like I say. I think what I'll do is I'm going to end this here. A very simple podcast, just to kind of touch on what's going on. Go onto our socials, get commenting. We'll put some more stuff on there for the weekend, like your prediction. We'll do that tonight or tomorrow. We'll get a wee post up, and we'll get that discussed at the review next week. So my name's been Coops. Remember to join us on the Everything F1 podcast. We are on all the socials, as I've said at the start, on X, on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. We are joint EF1, and most of those TikTok is official EF1 or EF1 official, as usual. Can never really remember which one it is, so I just like to hit both bases there. And on YouTube, we are Everything F1. Still running that competition. Get yourself subscribed. You could win yourself a Lego champion set of a team of your choice. All 10 teams are represented. All that's left for me to say there is thanks very much for joining us. Again, apologies for it just being me and hearing me ramble on for half an hour or so. But we will be back hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We'll discuss everything that happened at Baku over the weekend. Get your comments going. We'll get them up onto onto the podcast, and we'll talk more about Formula One next week. Cheerio. Bye bye.